10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Beastmaster.
Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Hello everybody, welcome back into the Global Grandmasters. Real quick before we start, I do want to give a quick shout out to, of course, our sponsors, for without them it would not be possible for us to be watching this Dota game, which of course are fanabet.com, Esports Live Score, Dota 2 Lounge, ProDotA, Go2 Gamers, as well as Kingwin. Without them, of course, we'd not be able to watch this game, so we're extremely grateful for them and all of their help. Jump into the game now.
5 seconds remaining.
Hello everybody and welcome back into the Global Grandmasters. We are here with our second series of the day. Imperial going up against Power Rangers here in a best of 2 series to determine who gets to the playoffs, who gets through from Group B, and who makes it up alongside Adfin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Mont, joined today, of course, by Montpack's Trent. We just saw Imperial not have the best series against Kai P. Now they have a chance against Power Rangers to do a bit better, I think, in this particular series.
Yeah, already starting out pretty well. I think fans were pretty on point last game too, honestly, with the IO and the Marana. I thought that was a good way to open versus KP. And then once more here, it's going to be the Terrorblade that we discussed being a really strong pick lately for Power Rangers, and then the Dark Seer too. So IO Bad Rider moved on the other side, and once more we will be seeing some Timbersaw Dota, Imperial, get trounced by it a couple games in a row, and they're like, no more of that. We're taking this thing by ourselves. So I really like that. And a really early Beastmaster pick from PR. You know, a hero that has certainly fallen down a little bit, you know, kind of compared to his former self. He used to be like first pick, first ban, jungle, mid, you know, off lane. Okay, no one really mid sometimes.
No, yeah.
Safe lane there. Well, safe lane him. People were doing that too. He was all everywhere. So I'm still a little surprised to see him right there with that Elder Titan straight away.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is an interesting choice to see it first overall from Power Rangers, but they clearly have an idea of what they want to do. Although, the point behind not picking the Beastmaster first, I think, is there are a lot of good offlaners that you could play in that particular role, and if you pick up the Beastmaster, it doesn't necessarily mean you are running that Beastmaster offlane, but it does put you into a position where maybe you have an idea of what you want to do with that already. So we'll see if it is going to be in the offlane. More than likely, because they have an Elder Titan, so that would be 2 4-position supports. So I think Beastmaster offlane is more than likely. So it actually kind of makes Imperial's draft a little bit easier to think about. Okay, well, they have the Beastmaster offlane, they have the Elder Titan in that 4 position. You know, what do we do to deal with this? And I think with their first two picks, Timbersaw and Phoenix, they already have some good, strong heroes, but maybe they want to deal with the Beastmaster in another way, invade the jungle in their own right, send the Phoenix in a 5 position, pick up the Earth Spirit, which they did last game against Kai P, but maybe they go for it again this time around and have him in the 4 position. Yeah. There's a lot of options, Trent.
I feel like their big question right now is that 4 role. It's, do we want the Earth Spirit? Do we want the Night Stalker to counter the Beastmaster vision? Because the Imperial have looked towards as well, and we know KP just did really well with it.
Ooh.
It'll be the Lion. Interesting pickup here. Does okay in the lane, can shut out the Beastmaster without sacrificing your lineup in a lot of ways. So like some teams have gone towards maybe the Oracle to shut out the Beastmaster. You can use that to take down the boars relatively early on and heavily impact his laning phase. But then you have to go in towards more of like a DP mid or something like that, who by the way is still in the so I like this line. It's a lot more stable, but it's not going to give you that early aggression or counter vision that something like Earth Spirit or Night Stalker would have. So I'll be looking towards that through the game to see how that goes. But finally, we get this pick, man. Skywrath Mage been coming out quite a bit versus the Timbersaw. Some teams going for the Keeper of the Light with the Mana Leak, and other teams opting for this Mega Silence and heavy magic damage instead. Two great ways to deal with the Timber.
There's plenty of magic damage down, not only with the Skywrath Mage, but the Elder Titan adding on with the Natural Order to actually help out the Skywrath Mage in terms of taking away that resistance from the Timbersaw, giving some extra damage go over. And then, of course, the Silence, like you talked about, the Agency obviously very, very strong against the Timbersaw in multiple ways. Not to mention, if you get a disable with that Roar, Mystic Flare combo up with said Primal Roar is very good against with the Stomp as well. Is not bad either, but it could be better with maybe an Earth Splitter or something along those lines. Still, though, there is going to be a Life Stealer coming out for Imperial, so they have that rage to go. So if the Silence doesn't get off, he can rage, and he's going to have to play around that Ancient Seal, and maybe even the Stomp and Roar as well. Interesting Life Stealer pick, but I do like the Skywrath Mage pick a lot. I do. I think it's going to be very strong against Timbersaw. I don't know how you feel exactly about it, if you're super excited for it.
I like it.
It's good? Okay.
I mean, you're versus the Phoenix, fantastic silence, right? Can't do the swoop stop, so no escape there. Against the Lifestealer, get it off for the rage, it's great. Against Timbersaw, like there's so many great solo pick-off potential silence that you don't typically get. So it's adding a ton of value to their draft right now. We'll see how much impact it has in like that early mid lane phase too. It can really help give a solid time to what we assume will be Undershock because he's standing for a rise, but you never really know how this little swap around of roles will go. But Undershock, a very solid player. He's got several great mids. I'm sure that'll probably just be him rocking out onto something for the team.
We'll wait and see who's going to be playing what for PR, but yeah, I mean that seems to be probably the most common thing I think for Power Rangers, that role swap arena. But Phases Void is going to be coming out now for the rating team as their potential safe laners. If we've talked about the Beastmaster already, more than likely being played in that offlane position. Although it theoretically could go mid, that is still something that is possible. I doubt that'll be the case, but it is something that. And it looks like Imperial are thinking that as well as they ban out the Queen of Pain, but that the mid is still yet to be picked up for Power Rangers. We talked about mid heroes. DP was one of them that you touched on going away with Imperial side, but there's obviously a lot of options here for both teams, really. I mean, there's mid laners there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I think Undershock's best one that I've typically seen would be something like his Puck.
Yeah.
Invoker would probably sync up really nicely right now when you look overall as to what they're up against and what they have on their own team, PR, but I look towards this Faceless Void and Beastmaster, and I'm wondering what the sort of setup is we're going to get here. Again, a lot of value out of the time dilation, kind of similar to the Silence in some ways, but versus the Timbersaw, we already saw that earlier and how good it was, so I think that's really good. It does mean, though, that if you run that position one Faceless Void, you don't generally want to get any points in time dilation, because you want the additional damage. So I'm not sure how that's going to sync up. Could be more of like a Ramsey-style safe lane Beastmaster, where he gets a little bit more farm-intensive happening here. A lot of different options here for PR.
Yeah, it kind of comes down to what they're going to pick with this last pick, and even then, how they just land things up here is still yet to be determined. Looking at the odds right now, 1.75 going the way of Imperial, 1.89 going the way of Power Rangers. So actually, a bit more interesting going the way of Imperial. The fact they have the advantage in terms of the odds for the time being, especially with how they played earlier against Kai P. It's a bit surprised they've been put in that position, but you never know with how things go. And well, with their last pick, it'll really determine how this lineup is going to be shaping up. They have 1 minute and 10 seconds left in reserve time for Imperial, Timbersaw, Phoenix, Lion, Lifestealer. So you're looking right now for either your offlaner or your mid laner, depending on where Imperial wants to play this for Baby Knight mid, or play it in the offlane for S. Joe, or play it in the safe lane for Ace, which is probably unlikely to happen as he has the Lifestealer to go and work with. But there's still some picks that we have to look at here, Trent.
Yeah, I think it's a tough decision for Imperial, just because I haven't personally seen Baby Knight's Timbersaw. I don't think they've had a chance to get their hands on it. And again, we saw what happened when he did get all that pressure in the mid lane, and that's going to be happening more here, more than likely from that Skywrath Mage coming in, throwing those initial spells, just wasting your whole mana pool, deny yourself to the camp, come right back in and do it again. Like, Skywrath Mage is brutal when it comes to that early aggression, and just making it so you have a totally awful time. So if they want to go for something like his Invoker, PR don't pick it up themselves, he could have a really bad time up against whatever they decide to put mid.
We'll wait and see. 10 seconds left in reserve time right now. They're really thinking about this one for Power Rangers, and the last pick is finally going to come out, and it is going to be the Marana. The Marana mid, interestingly enough, which is more magic damage, and obviously setting up a Mystic Flare. Arrow is able to do that nicely, and obviously with Arrow into Chronosphere, Starstorm on top of that, some good magic damage. So they go for a magic-oriented hero for the most part, although Marana can go right-click later on down the road. But what do you think about this hero, potentially, Trent?
Really good. It's going to talk about how they need this magic-heavy nuke, and well, first off, kind of overlooked the magical damage from the bash of Faceless Void is why you'll often see teams like get maybe a little bit of an unusual Veil to pair up with this core Void, because it does boost all the bash damage. And so we're talking about Ancient Steel, we're talking about Natural Order. That's really going to help the Faceless Void, and if that's the position one, I really dig it. And then it's the same idea behind this Marana. We know we need heavy magic nukes if we're going to try and bring down this Timbersaw. So applying that with the Aghanim Scepter into that Starstorm, we've seen how much that can do. They're going to be shredding right through them. So it looks like it will be Baby Knight getting that in the mid lane, and they'll be heading off to the Hesta Joe Tidehunter. So straight off the bat, I think it's heavy execution from Pierre. I mean, Elder Titan, Faceless Void, you got to hit your spells, but I think they have a strong lineup to deal with what Imperial have.
And we'll wait and see how things transition as we jump into this first game of this next best of 2 series between Imperial and Power Rangers. Make sure you guys stick around. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Ten seconds remaining.
All right, folks, we are set up, ready to go now with this second best of 2 series, or 2-game series, I should call it, as we are now underway. We'll see how things do transition as Imperial are down 0-2 against Kaipi. They need a 2-0 against PR to, I think, keep things at least interesting and maybe a tiebreaker situation if, of course, Power Rangers do take down Kaipi in that last series of the day. Otherwise, Imperial, with the loss to Power Rangers, are just out overall. I believe a loss in terms of the series. I think they're just out. I think, if I'm trying to do the math correctly, I think they just might be out if they lose one game of this series, but I might be wrong about that. Let's see here. So they're sitting now on 0-2, so 2 losses for Imperial. Power Rangers gets a tie, and yeah, I mean, pretty much Imperial pretty much have to win this series. Is how it looks. I might be wrong. I don't trust me overall, but this is a very important series for Imperial to win. And for Power Rangers, all they really have to do is get a tie here, and then a victory over Kaipi in the last series of the day, and they'll be fine. That's all that Power Rangers have to do. So they just have to win one game of this series. And if they do lose this series, but they do beat Kaipi, then we will go to tiebreakers. But there's a chance that they might lose against Kaipi altogether. So still a lot at play here. Of course, our trip to the playoffs for Group B still has yet to be decided. Right now, Kaipi looking like they're in the best position. And Trent, this is a pretty big series because of it. So
yeah, and I'm just taking a look. I mean, we didn't get a really good opportunity to talk about Hesta Joe's pick either in this Tidehunter. You can see straight off the bat, man, he's going for it. Stout Shield, 8 tangos. We talked about, I think, a lot. And you go in towards the Stout Shield on Tidehunter, right? Something that's been debated. Like, it used to be people still get it, even with Kraken Shell. And then we were off it for a really long time. We're like, nope, there's no point, because once you get the 2 points in the Kraken Shell, it doesn't do anything. And it's just wasted gold, doesn't stack. And so now he's opting to come into the lane, and he's brought the 8 tangos. And J4, he came down, he denied the ward placement, sniped him out right away, and was like, I don't think so. So Hesta Joe's still sitting on that. And this kind of makes J4 say, well, I think I'll just hang down mid, and he's gone with the asshole Skywrath build, as I love to call it, which is the Null Talisman right away into 3 Clarities. Yeah,
you're not wrong. That's a lot of damage, and damage block is not going to save you from that magic damage coming up from the Skywrath Mage, which is a bit frustrating for the Tide, I think, of this situation. And yeah, I get why he went for the Stout Shield, because it gives you 2 or 3 levels where you might not be okay in lane otherwise without that Stout Shield or without damage block. So... And he's very tanky if he gets off Anchor Smash early on to the game, and he's able to have a tango up at all times. He'll be okay, except for the Skywrath Mage, which is exactly what we talked about. Not to mention the Stomp, too, which, of course, well, the Stomp is physical damage, but later on down the road, the Astral will come out. You have Faceless Void with Time Lock procs, too, so I don't know. I feel like this Tidehunter could avoid a lot of this damage, but he also might take too much from the Scarith Mage. So it comes down to how J4 is aggressive against him, I think, is the biggest thing for me.
Well, we've talked about, in our first series today, we talked about Imperial and how they do tend to kind of ride or die on Baby Knight. It certainly is a pretty big thing on this team. Like, they always want to try and give him the best chance possible to do well in the mid lane and carry them through the mid-game phase because of it. And thanks to Hester Joe not just Iron Talenting, yes, his life is going to be hell. I'm sure he'll probably die down here, but he is going to keep this support attention, because if it wasn't for him being down here, if he just Iron Talents, J4 just immediately beelines mid, and this lane is over for Baby Knight.
Yeah.
Like, completely donezo. So that is the big trade-off that you're getting here, and we'll see if that how few deaths Hester Joe will be able to give up here. That's pretty much the question.
I don't know if he's really gonna. At the beginning of this lane, I don't think he should die. I mean, there's not really much. They have a stomp to set things up with, but other than that, I mean, I don't think he should get caught in terms of just taking more damage than he can regen or run away from. I think Hester Joe should be okay, all things considered, earlier on in this game, but that remains to be seen. We're still waiting on a pause as we have J4 disconnect from the game. He is going to reconnect, and then Cheshire Cat be the lone disconnected player from Power Rangers looking to fix maybe an internet issue. This series has taken a lot longer to start than I think a lot of people would have liked. One of those being my fault. I was actually disconnected from Steam for a bit for some reason. I couldn't reconnect, and then we started the game, and the game was failed to load. So that's partially on me. So I know some of these players were upset about some of the delays that we had, but other than that, though, I mean, we're kind of just waiting around, Trent. We still have lots of Dota to be played after this game, so hopefully we can get in pretty soon.
Yeah, big day of Dota for you, man. You're like all over the place. You got to head to Canada Cup later. I saw you guys were celebrating a little bit of Canada Day. I was away. I was not near a computer for the celebration day.
I wasn't there yesterday either, to be fair.
Oh, there you go. You were celebrating Canada Day yourself, were you?
I had family business I had to attend to, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to cast Canada Cup then. But I'm able to do the game today, which is the grand finals, which is a best of 5 series. So, like I said, there's 6 games today for 6 games totals today for Global Grandmasters, and then a potential 5 games for, although maybe more than likely 3 or 4 games for Dota 2 Canada Cup and a best of 5 grand finals between DC and Void Boys. That's what it is. So, and they just played each other too, and DC actually took them down 2-0. Although it was pretty close in that series, I have to say. Oh, great! Loving the pause though for Cheshire Cat. Really exciting stuff, honestly.
Yeah, some unfortunate internet issues, it seems. Now he's got the right idea, this guy, right? Iron Talent, just get it.
Yeah, he knows.
And we talked about how they went for this lion pick, right? So it denied out the lane for sure, but he also doesn't have the best potential mid, considering you could have had something like that Earth Spirit, or even just the Night Stalker roaming in there for that sort of an aggression.
Right.
So we'll see how that does impact Imperial.
Well, Cheshire Cat should have a pretty good time, all things considered, and he is having some internet issues for Power Rangers, and that's what we are waiting on. He is reconnected to the game, and we are going to get ready to go here. Woo! We did it. This is where it gets exciting. Instead of a delayed game, but we're still getting back into the game, and now we're getting underway. And we'll see how things are. So, yeah, I mean, Baby Knight should be okay mid. This is actually kind of a good lane. There's not much damage from Marana. Baby Knight should have a Coin Blade coming out. He does. So he should be able to see us just fine, all things considered. Although, at this point, the creep wave was so far underneath the enemy tower that he's not able to get any CS. Down bottom, a couple of arcane bullets being casted from J4, so Hester Joe will take about half of his HP and damage. But he does have a Tango going in, a salve ready to go as well. But J4 has 3 clarities, so it is his job to literally just spam Q off cooldown and clarity when he needs to, which is a bit unfortunate for Hester Joe. And Hester Joe knows this. He's like, well, I guess I just go Anchor Smash and jungle for the time being.
Yeah, no real choice. The only benefit to this build is the fact that he can still come down and like hang out near the tower when it's relatively close. We still get some experience, but his jungling is just so slow because he didn't go Iron Talon. And J4 right away just reading the situation, just like later, I'm going mid. Adios, Timbersaw.
Well, he has a ward. He saw him walk through that tier 1 tower down bottom. Like, he knows that he's there. Rise came mid, by the way, throwing a couple of right clicks and an undershock. No real follow-up, though. But J4 is going to come around and he'll throw up 1 arcane bolt. Baby Knight will take damage. He does have 2 points reactive armor, so to 8 charges now, or 8 stacks rather. And of course, with that, he gets 13 HP regen, not even using a Tango, which is kind of nuts. So he's actually probably fine, all things considered. Yeah, I mean,
Hester Joe playing this correctly, coming back down here as well. Just trying to apply what little pressure he can. Even gonna try and get a pull off. really important for him.
It's gonna be hard. There's no way that's happening, I don't think. Yeah, that's a difficult pull to make. But goddamn, we'll take some rest because of it. Rotating mid also is just our cat. He found himself a regen rune. Hopefully he takes that for himself and does. God damn it, Hess Joe going toe to toe. And this is going to leave, by the way, a complete safe lane free farm for the lifestealer for Ace. So Ace is getting a lot more room to work with than we saw in the first 2 games of the day against Kaipi, which is like he's so happy about that. He was not happy about how things went earlier on in the day.
Now Joe got a little bit of cash. He didn't buy boots. Yeah, he's hanging around, man. He's buying the boots.
Yeah, he might. The Astral, they've stomped. They do. Not easy to hit. Custom shot will make it a little bit easier. There's the Kraken Shell, or rather Anchor Smash. Stomp will go does a nice bit of damage as it's physical at that when you just use your Q button instead of the W.
On the play, though.
Yeah, they could have gotten that kill if the Void came in, but actually they could have gotten it regardless, I think. But I think that's the right play. Void was looking to get CS, and that's fine. Still,
yeah,
Joe's gonna. He has no salve lift, by the way. Although he does block this camp, interestingly enough, but they might have seen that. There's a ward here. They should have actually seen that ward get dropped down. That's awkward. Well, it's a pretty good start, I think, for Power Rangers. They have a CS advantage in both. Well, actually, it's kind of even, both mid and bottom, or mid and safe laners, I should say. But you do have the advantage of the 17 CS Cheshire Cat versus 6 CS Tidehunter played by Hesse Joe, so that's the difference maker. Is of course the Beastmaster first pick, and without it being, there's no aggression coming out from anybody on Imperial, so without it being really contested, it's just getting free farming this jungle right now for Imperial or for Power Rangers.
Yeah. But at least Baby Knight is looking good for sure. Like, tied up here in terms of last hits, I'll be happy with that. He even had a nice range creep tonight earlier before he'd even gotten the Quelling Blade, so he's feeling pretty solid up against Undershock, and we'll be looking into that big rotation from Cheshire Cat when he actually hits 6. And as you just talked about, the fact that there is no pressure coming in there means it will be relatively early, and they can kind of pick their targets. So we imagine it'll be like probably a smoke mid. I'm not sure, does he even come yet? He does not. Sometimes you'll see it smoked up, like kind of like your Bat Rider blinks, just sent right into the jungle, and then run on in. Doesn't even have a TP actually, so a couple things missing here for Cheshire Cat, but roaring up in that mid lane would be huge for them to try and kill Baby Knight.
Yeah, he is level 5 now. He's getting close to that level 6. He's missing out on. He has Tranquil Boots on the ground, so he's going to be there. Undershock is getting some help, or rather, Baby Knight's getting some help from Noya against Undershock. See how things transition, but right now it's been a pretty casual start to this game. No real kills going either way. Nothing of substance going on one way or the other. So I mean, it's just kind of farm city at this point, which I'm not really complaining about.
Yeah, goddamn, has that early ring of health. Are we getting the build? Is this the early Vanguard? I mean, Lifestealer, get up against that. It's not too bad.
I'm down for a Vanguard build. Arrow's gonna miss on the Baby Knight. Good try from Murder Shock, just throwing out those arrows. Just 100% of the arrows you don't shoot, says somebody famous, I'm sure.
I think that was Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, I know it was Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
J4 coming in. They're going to find Noya. The roar's up. The Ancient Seal on top of it. This should be your first blood, and it is. Cheshire Cat gets the job done. Finally, as we talked about, it's that rotation. He hits level 6. He just walks out into lane. Boom. They find a kill. It's not maybe not the hero they wanted, but now Cheshire Cat just goes aggressively in the jungle. He says, I'll see you guys later. I got my own thing to do now.
Yeah, this is nice. He can start getting at some of their stacks too. Now, unless Rise comes over with like some big swoop play out of the Tranquil Boots, that would be like the disaster. But he's just going to keep on stacking. And I don't think this will be blocked by Cheshire Cat, so good for him.
Uh-oh. Void coming in bottom. He's got Chronosphere. They're going to pop it off. The Kraken Shell, or rather the Anchor Smash did just go, so not that much damage. Hesse Joe still in trouble after the stomp comes down. They have no mana for the Arcane Bolt. Good Earth Spike is not enough. Goddamn, the Hex was a bit too late from Noya. They would have gotten that kill either way, though, with Big Num or goddamn one way or other. It's a good try coming out from the rotation from Noya, but just not there in time. Excuse me, in time.
Yeah, Cheshire Cat, he's found out some of these stacks, but no way that he can take them, so Baby Knight will come on in. A humongous amount of farm for himself, and since his mid lane's still relatively even, he's pretty happy right now. Try and get as fast into that blood zone as he can, being kind of the linchpin for this team. And in terms of this draft, though, it will come down a lot more to Ace this time, but him and Baby Knight can start pairing up. Once Baby Knight has those levels, we'll get some Infest Bombs. And Baby Knight went for the mega defensive build, and this is why his lane went so well, right? Just like infinite regen, doesn't matter how much J4.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much harass he gets, but his rotations are going to be really weak over the next 5 minutes until he gets some more levels.
Yeah, I mean, with those stacks will help him get experience, but for now, yeah, he's not got any damage in this game. Even as a mid-lane Timber Saw, he just doesn't have any. Oh well, that's something. By the way, goddamn did pick up a Vanguard. So
Yeah,
you
we'll
were right
see
about
if
that.
he goes for it, and the full-out Radiance build, but it could just be like casual into something like a Diffusal Blade.
I mean, I always feel like Vanguard is just... Vanguard Radiance is such a strange set of items for me. Like, I understand why you get them. You need to be tanky, but just like... Yeah, why not go for another early game-oriented item if you're going to go Vanguard? It just doesn't... It does allow you to get Radiance pretty safely, and you usually don't die because of it, but it doesn't allow you to get plenty of right-click damage. Like, you're not really doing any damage over the course of the game when you have that Vanguard.
Yeah, with the full time lock build, I'm sure it'll just be like Maelstrom or Diffusal. We shouldn't have to worry about it with like a Timber Saw and a Lifestealer. Not much value out of a Radiance in a game like this.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, you're right.
I shouldn't have to worry about the Wagga build.
Cheshire Cat's gonna head into the enemy jungle. He's probably looking for, well, he doesn't really know who he's looking for. There's no vision just yet onto the Phoenix, who's been sacking up these camps like crazy. He could go mid and look for Baby Shock or Baby Knight. It's not the easiest kill in the world, but I mean, they could try to find something here. They're gonna wrap in. There's gonna be the concussive shot. The Ashes on top. They're about to use the stop. They don't even need it. Hell, my God, they get so much damage just from J4 with the Arcane Bolt's coming out. They'll rotate Ace. He's gonna get slowed down by the Boar Poison. Noya even had an in his room, but he couldn't find the Air Spike for the life of him, unfortunately. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Goddamn's gonna chase after Hestio, who'll pick up his Arcane Boots, but for now, it's just gonna be a quick, easy kill, a hit and run, if you will, on that mid laner.
Yeah, piece of cake there. So that's one they really needed. Baby Knight slowed down, and those are the levels that he's going to be missing out on. Like, every death is very, very bad for him right now. As this pressure starts to come in from Pierre, and they start like approaching into towers and everything with this like Mirana and Elder Titan, and even they can just do so with Chronosphere. There's just no threat really from Baby Knight. There's like the Ravage that you'd be afraid of, but after that, it's just the Lifestealer, and Baby Knight's just going to be kind of there on the sidelines, raging HP.
Until he gets maybe 2 to 3 more levels, and then he has, you know, 2 points in Timber Chain, maybe a couple more points in Rolling Death. I mean, yeah, the big thing is when he gets, I think, either the max Timber Chain or he starts putting points into Rolling Death, and then, like, level 11 is when you start worrying about the Baby Knight Timber Saw, probably. That's when you start being concerned with how much damage he's outputting, because then he'll have level 2 Chakram, which obviously is a significant amount of damage. He'll have, you know, plenty of levels in Timber Chain or Rolling Death, or both of them. I don't know, man. I think that Timber is still, you have to worry about him, but just not yet, for sure.
Well, I like what Imperial are doing with the rest of their heroes, speaking of levels. You know, Noya getting this nice safe lane farm space, getting plenty of experience on himself, while the jungle just gets handed over to Ace thanks to those stacks. So he's feeling pretty good. Lion's gonna get up to that level 6 nice and early on.
Everywhere. There's 2 giant stacks in the jungle, and there's 1 ancient stack over here for the Tidehunter later on down the road, I'd imagine. So that's one way to do it. And really, I think Tidehunter's the only one that can farm this. So yeah, they're just giving all these stacks to the Tidehunter.
Yeah, it's a really good way to try and help him recover, just because his lane also wasn't very good. And oh yeah, they are giving the jungle one too.
They might give some of this to Baby Knight, but he can't take the ancient stacks, obviously.
No. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Well, that's better.
So now you have to look towards how they can contest from PR, which they certainly can. I mean, they have Moonlight Shadow, they have Hawk Vision, they have Chronosphere up right now. Like, they should definitely be looking to get aggressive here and try and deny out these stacks.
Well, they might not have known they were in there. They sent in Cheshire Cat earlier, but he didn't really get a Hawk down. He didn't get any aggressive wards down. And even if they knew, it's too late. All the stacks are gone, except for the Ancient stack, which is probably the most important one. With PR smoked up and ready to contest at this point, there's an Observer Ward and a Sentry that Rise is about to come through and scout out Cheshire Cat. The roar is up. He does have an infused range drop. The arrow should hit and find the kill with the Starstorm on top. There's the Ravage. Gonna hit up onto 2 though, and they'll find any further aggression now. Baby Knight already used his Chakram, not gonna find anybody. They even used the Moonlight Shadow. J4's caught. He TP's out in time. They had no detection there. Sentry's too far away. No vision coming out from Baby Knight or Noya, and so they lose Rise. He's got arrow, but he also has level Starstorm, and Hestio is low. Starstorm comes out. Infused Raindrop doing some nice work, but Hestio's still alive. Now Baby Knight chasing after Undershock, who has that haste rune. Now it's gone. Chakram up in 2 seconds. Timber Chain up. Undershock will take that damage. Leaps away. Goddamn, it's Time Walk as well. If he needs it, not to mention Chronosphere, he'll just use it to get out as well. Slippery heroes for Power Rangers, and Imperial cannot chase them down. And, well, they only lose Rise out of it, but that's still not the best thing in the world.
No, not too ideal in this situation. I mean, still 4-0 for PR. I really like the way they just smoke in, Moonlight Shadow out. No real major risk there. I'm sure there'll be detection come next time there from Imperial. Be more ready. Yeah, we already see the dust picked up on our line here. So not gonna let that one happen again. unfortunately that Skywrath Mage just slipped out from his fingers. But he also got not just levels, but quite a bit of gold. Right up to 1k. We'll see if Noe just saves straight to the Blink Dagger, or if he goes back for like more of a budget build.
See this out of a lot of lines, honestly. They are involved in like a couple of kills and maybe some CS up in the safe lane, wherever they might be. But yeah, just lines put in that forward position, trying to get that early Blink Dagger. It's so important for them. And I imagine that he will go down that route. I very rarely see lines forego that Blink Dagger when you have this amount of money. He might die and he might miss out on that Blinks for a couple of minutes here, but for now, he's still getting closer and closer to it. Whereas mid lane, Baby Knight top of the net worth currently, sitting on point booster and his soul ring, not to mention his VIP booster already. He's very close to that bloodstone. He's getting there. Down bottom, tier 1 tower getting taken by goddamn Treads. Vanguard, 500 gold. Nothing on the courier, not yet anyway for him.
I gotta say, I'm really feeling for Hesta Joe this game. Like, he goes in, he starts like farming that stack in the jungle. He was all happy-go-lucky. Timber comes and takes it, and he is way low. Like, very poor. And of course, that ancient stack we've talked about, he's gonna start going to work on it now. He only got the 2 points up in the
Noya got that great deny, but it's still gonna cost him his life. That's a bit unfortunate for him. Yeah, probably. I mean, if it wasn't the line, if he was about, like, if he had his Blink Dagger, if he wasn't going for Blink, I'd be like, that's fine, but he is going to be stifled now in his progression. They really need that level 3 point of Kraken show up for the Tidehunter, and he's close. And you can see goddamn Zober ready to contest. No Chronosphere, though, and here comes Baby Knight. He's a little bit low in mana himself. Arcane's up in 15. He's got his Soul Ring. Moonlight Shadow's going to go. Power Rangers going to put themselves in a position to try to contest this. It's not going to be that easy, however, as goddamn will take down a couple of these. Astral's going to come through. Hesta Joe. Infused Raindrop will block it. Not that he wanted to use Infused Raindrop to block just that.
This is the price of chronoing a Lion, man.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? He's missing out on what could be a kill onto Hesta Joe. He's now Hex is up. Anchor Smash will go. They've got Ravage. Earth Spike Finger. See you later. God damn. Was not expecting that damage. And now Hesta Joe still not level 8, so he doesn't have that 3rd point into Kraken Shell, but he will be able to get it very soon. Earth Splitter's coming in. Rise. Now it actually just narrowly avoids that Earth Split from Big Gnome, which is a good effort there, but it's not enough. Finally, level 8 for Hesta Joe, but the stack is already taken. He's up to 700 gold. Did miss out on some of it. Was given away to Goddamn it, as well as Ace. But while this is all happening, there's a tier 1 tower trade going for Cheshire Cat with an Necro 1 and has not been used. Thundershock's going up there as well. So Power Rangers actually miss out on the stack, but they do take the tier 1 tower in the end.
Yeah, I actually didn't even notice. I just looked at stuff on the kill board, but it's 5-0. That was a deny. I had not realized.
Yep.
Oh.
Wait.
Faces Boy got denied.
Wow, I can't believe he got denied by neutral.
By the Ancients. I saw the finger go through. I didn't even look.
Oh, I just assumed he had died to Imperial, but I can't believe that happened.
That's so depressing.
You know, like, between all of those abilities, I'm sure the statistical probability that is very low, even though there were a lot of Ancient stacks over there. Yeah,
you're looking at Ancients.
There's no way that should have happened, but whatever. Arrow sailing through, does not connect into Baby Knight wide to the left. He's able to walk his way and just make sure that he's underneath the tier 1 tower, not to mention an Observer Ward, so they've got some vision helping him out. And Power Rangers trying to put some pressure on this tier 1 tower. Void has Chronosphere back up. He's level 10, not quite at that level 11 just yet. Meanwhile, Split pushing down bottom is Ace. Just the right foot with his armlet.
Checked. And he was down to 13 HP from Tidehunter, and then he got hit with Splash Attack for 15 damage from an Ancient Black Dragon and died.
Nuts. I can't believe that happened. Chrono on the Baby Knight Sunray. They have the Mystic Flare. It's a lot of damage with the Ancient Steel. It's just not enough. The Stomp's there as well. Open Wood's now in Imperial. Ace is looking for Big Gnome, trying to find him. There's the Earth Splitter. Sunray. Supernova on top of it all as well. There's Moonlight Shadow. They've only lost Baby Knight. They won't find anybody else in the process. Moonlight Shadow, they're looking to re-engage. Undershock is 0-3. There's a ward down. They finally have the sentry as well. Undershock has been spotted. No open wounds, no further stun from Noya. He's not in position. He doesn't have a blank dagger. Sprinkles now open wounds. Silence up into Ace in trouble. Looking for J4. Sunray doing a lot of good damage as well. Ace still pretty low though, taking some right clicks. And the Sunray will finish off that Skywrath Mage underneath tier 1 tower, but look at what's happening. Top lane, tier 3 tower is actually being pushed into. They have to back up Imperial. They need to be careful. They might lose this tier 3 tower if they're not looking and being aggressive here. They're gonna have to back up and keep home.
So good at this, honestly.
He actually just got like 75% damage onto that tier 3 tower. That's absurd.
He is one of the best Broodmother players over the past several years. You know, someone who's just always been consistently picking that hero, and when he plays Beastmaster, it's a lot of the same stuff. You know, he just takes over this portion of the map. I mean, a lot of Beastmasters, you know, when they're really good, this is what you see them do, but Cheshire Cat just someone that's always willing to go that extra bit and understand the limits of his own team and know when to pressure the advantage on the lanes.
Looking at how things have transitioned now, and actually Power Rangers 1.43 in odds right now. Imperial are not looking so good from Fanabet odds, as you can clearly see. And now mid lane, Baby Knight's going to come through. He's got his +3 completed. Undershot very close to his Hackett Scepter as well, which is a huge item. We saw how much magic damage they did just with like Mystic Flare and Ancient Seal on top. Can you imagine how much damage they're going to do with a Starstorm with Aghanim Scepter? It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, it really is, and the fact that this like Hessa Joe was slowed down so much, his big opportunity in this game was to go for like mech pipe or even pipe first. I'm kind of surprised he's even going mech when you look at his lineup in PR. I wouldn't be surprised if he just skipped Blink altogether and left it just for the Lion. Make sure he got more of those defensive items up, or maybe like even the Timbersaw. We've seen some pick up the pipe too. Someone needs to grab it this game because
Undershock. Moonlight Shadow was about to be casted. Earthspike should be next. Finger, they blow him up finally. He actually didn't have Leap there. His big mistake walking in, and he was close to that Aghanim Scepter. Now with, of course, him down, he's going to not have it for a while. Baby Knight's still invis, looking for goddamn who's backing away now. Top lane. Hessa Joe's been caught out. They've used the roar. He's got Ravage now, losing all that mana. Stick charges will go. Ancient sealed up. Crack and Chill will take it off. Ravage comes out. Now Baby Knight looking to help. J4 actually about to fall. They still get the kill on Hessa Joe. J4, 25 HP. He actually might make it away. Baby Knight doesn't get there in time. He missed out of the Whirling Death. Baby Knight went to the wrong tree. All he needed to do was Whirling Death that poor Scarith Mage. And somehow J4 survives all of that. He shouldn't have, but he does.
Oh man, the patience too to come up with that Ravage and just wait like, okay, is it worth my Ravage? Are we gonna make a play? But no such luck.
Hex, Earthspike, goddamn, Sunray, Alien Open wins next as well. They have the Moonlight Shadow. Detection should be there. He time walks away though, and he's already just, all of that damage is gone. And so whatever was going to be a kill, it doesn't turn out to be one, as they didn't have Finger either. And now they'll have to get the regen for Noah. TP into the mid lane, defend the tier 1 tower. It's low. It's about to be denied by Ace. And it is. Nicely done. And Cheshire Cat with level 3 Necro is putting in some work this game, for sure. Wow.
Yeah, 800 gold right on top of that too. And he's more than likely going to be your only like real blink initiator for quite a while, right? Like goddamn stacking in most damage here. He's got that Echo Saber up, which is kind of an interesting start, but I like it with the max time lock build here.
I'm fine that he didn't go Radiance. That's just one thing that's made me happy. They'll give him some good, yeah, with max time lock, it's the correct decision. It's like either that or S and Y Diffusal Manta. There's a lot of items that you can go for and void. Still though.
And then a lot of our conversation is now going to start to center around like some of these last tier 2s on the side of the Dire. They've only gotten a single tier 1 right now from Imperial, trying to move their way into that Radiant side of the map, but as more of these towers fall, Roshan opens up more and more for PR. All it really takes is like having Chrono up and then start to control it, use the Beastmaster and maybe even the Necros just to get it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
As more and more farm gets put on goddamn, it's just going to get quicker and quicker, so they're starting to get a little bit of a rotation top, trying to deal with Cheshire Cat in his constant split push, but
do they know that he's there?
Hawk.
He's just TPing out. Yeah, that's that. They don't have any vision for Imperial to scout him out. And there's that Ag
this is a great time to smoke too.
Yeah, they just got the Ags done. They have Necro 3 back up for Cheshire Cat. Big Num has a 4 staff, not to mention all of his abilities ready. They'll TP in and sit goddamn behind the rest of the squad. And we'll see who they find out first. Cheshire Cat's about to run into Ace. The smoke will break if they... Yeah, there it is. Cheshire Cat should know this. They're going to figure it out. Sunray comes through, open wounds, rage up, and Cheshire Cat is have to use that roar onto the rage up Ace. Looking for another splinter will find it nicely. Onto 3 Supernova on top of the stars from blowing it up. That life stealer. Hessa Joe might be next. 2 for nothing, excuse me, for now. And Hessa Joe will be the 3rd to fall. Undershock now, getting Chakram Chronosphere to stop all of that damage. Goddamn, saving Undershock. Looking for Baby Knight. It might be all 5 dead coming out from Imperial, and it will be. Power Rangers, what a beautiful engagement. Great splitter. Starstorm damage is absurd, and then goddamn comes in with a Chronosphere to end all of it and have an amazing fight go with Power Rangers' way. What an amazing engagement, Trent.
I mean, does that get any better? Like, that Earth Splitter coming out through that's probably one of the best choke points in the entire game for Earth Splitter. And they just waltzed on into it. I'm not sure they couldn't quite see it, and just the terrain and everything like that, but Bignum snipes them all, and saves himself with the 4 staff, which is really nicely played, and then plenty of damage coming from Undershock, and what a save from Goddamn 2, comes in with the Chrono, and then into that time dilation, so Baby Knight just had nothing to do.
Speaking of Baby Knight, was looking for Undershock bottom, although it's tough to chase this Timbersaw after this Undershock Marana, but he'll do his best to try. I'm going with the Timber Chain. Chakram actually misses. If he was a little bit longer, that Chakram maybe actually gets the kill, although it's tough. Undershock looking for an arrow now. That would have been sick to hit, but sadly it goes on a Siege Creep instead, which is not a bad thing. J4, by the way, has a Veil, so already you're concerned about the magic damage on Imperial's side, and then all of a sudden you have a Veil to deal with that, and you're like, well, I guess we just die a lot more now. they've already been dying plenty to Starstorm and Mystic Flare and all that jazz. But
Yeah, if they're under Veil and under Natural Order, even these right clicks, like if Goddamn gets a bash, it is gonna stack on so much damage.
it's gonna do like half of like the Rise's HP pool or something, I'm sure.
The only good thing they have going right now is that Baby Knight is working on that pipe, so there is going to be this moment where like pipe gets finished up. That's going to give them a really nice spike in momentum here. There's going to be a Deso around the same time here for Ace, and then if they can just come in with this mech and everything, like there is this point where things could culminate for Imperial into something good. Blink Dagger's almost done for Noya, so they're about to hit this tier that they need to make plays, but Noya can't die here, man. Oh, he bought it!
He's got his blink.
Saved!
And he dies right after. The mech almost saved him. Not really, though. The Necro Archer doing some serious work with the Necro Warrior on top, and Cheshire Cat finds himself another solo kill. On top of already having his blink dagger, by the way.
Fine, yeah, he just bought it. Game saved. It's okay.
Moonlight Shadow's gonna go, and Ace needs to be wary not to be caught here by anything. Roar is not available. He just used it, so he's just looking and trying to find vision. And Imperial know this. They're gonna sit behind, and Arrow's gonna almost done the S to Joe. It's very close. If that hits, they get that kill. Fortunately, no such luck there, but they find the Chrono to Ace anyways. Mystic Flare, Sunray will not save him. Earth Splitter, just for good measure. It's more overkill. Then the bash under Rise. He didn't even have the Veil up. Time dilation's there. The Boar Poison going will not grab the kill. He was very low in HP, but he will survive nonetheless. And it will be now them taking a tier 2 tower almost certainly here for PR, and they're very, very, very far up in this game right now, Trent.
Yeah, this is looking pretty familiar to some games earlier versus the old Imperial. Not having a very nice morning.
No,
wow, Goddamn's going right into a Deso. That is a little bit unusual, but gonna help out for Roche, gonna help for tower sieging. He really doesn't need any more help.
I am fine with it, because yeah, that's just good damage, honestly. They need armor reduction with the Mirana. It's gonna help her auto attacks feel more enforced, and everybody's auto attacks gonna be better, including the summons coming out for Power Rangers as well. So I think it's a good choice. Nonetheless, anyways, we're gonna see them head to Roche.
It's gonna really help for objectives, and they know that like everything else in this game is kind of in the bag, right? All these team fights going really well, and with them starting to build up against this magic, you know, the pipe that's gonna be coming out here, just a solid item choice, a little bit of minus armor play.
Now they're gonna need that. Medallion's gonna come as well for Brignum, so even more minus armor for Roche when they do want to take it. And at this point, it's not looking easy. It's not looking easy by any stretch for Imperial. But then again, what is?
They still have this opportunity. I mean, I'll give them this one chance here. Get some sort of a play coming. Thanks to the Timbersaw picking up, Joe can go towards a blink and maybe he can catch someone off guard. It's just really difficult for them to find this like smoke opportunities. They do have Goddamn, but nope, just later. No one can quite catch up, and they're even a Moonlight Shadow, but so much pressure up in the top lane from Cheshire Cat, as well as just
he's gonna find Ace. See you later. Roar's gonna come out. Earth Splitter, mana burn's gone. He has no mana for rage, and he just gets blown up by the Earth Splitter. Noise gonna be next. Look at that damage coming out. Oh my god, the dash comes through on top of the fact that they already have that beautiful Starstorm, and then 3 heroes get literally melted off the map through all of that magic damage. My god.
That was, I think, 90% of the HP from Undershock with the Starstorm passive. I don't even know if he cast the actual.
No, he didn't. I don't believe he did.
It was just a passive as he gets like in the chrono.
That's unfortunate. And again, that is a life stealer who's like, he's actually got like 10,000 net worth, just becoming useless because all of his mana is gone. He can't rage, then he dies to Earth Splitter right after that. God. It's done a lot of damage. It's insane. Still. Now with Aegis up for the Mirana, Goddamn with his Vanguard Desolator, they are going to take this last outer tower and try to push high ground here. And if they find another Chrono like they just found, I don't see Imperial being able to defend. It's going to have to be some serious, like, Joe has to find an amazing Ravage on top of like a Sunray, Supernova, and I don't even know. They have to find a good finger. Like, there's just so much you have to do for Imperial in this game, and it's not easy.
Yeah, Blink Dagger can be purchased here from our Tidehunter if he wants to go for that. That'll be like the saving grace where they can set up into some sort of an egg play. You know, you can even stack the two just so they don't have quite enough time to try and deal with the egg. But,
he bought the blink, there it is.
Now. He'll come on home.
Hero hits on the ace, by the way. No Chronosphere, though.
Yeah, look at this, no Chrono.
Oh my god, he gets destroyed. Roaring to Baby Nut as well. He's missing out on the mana because, of course, they get off that mana burn. He does that to the knock stuff. Like, Ravage comes in onto 5. Finger on goddamn, he time walks up the damage. Hesijo was a good try, my friend, but nobody is dead from PR. In fact, everyone is dead from Imperial. And that's it. GG right after. When you have that good of a Ravage that turns into absolutely nothing, you have to GG out. Wow.
Yeah, from the time that the first misdemeanor hit on that life stealer after you got arrowed, it took 0.6 seconds for them to kill him. All that magic burst. That's pretty quick. Much like this game was. 21-2.
I mean, they had a draft, they executed it. It was that simple for Power Rangers. And
yeah,
so,
you look at these heroes on Imperial, and you're just like, okay, that's a solid looking draft. Lion, Phoenix, Tide, Timber, Lifesteal. This is like top tier